Hello and welcome back for another video with the Cash Flow Apprentice. My name is Jaleesa and today we are covering credit management. Now before we actually dive into the details, I'd like to recap so you better understand our journey through the fall study group class for essentials. That way you can be better caught up and understand where we're heading today. Now previously, over the last month, not including credit management where we're going to cover today, we've already taken 2 classes over the last month. Both classes were led by Hughes Wretzky out of New York City. Now, Hughes Wretzky helps us understand the essentials of the real estate business, and then he also helps us understand real estate marketing. Now, in Real Estate Essentials, he's walking us through the entire process of understanding how to set up our business, how to understand the market, and more importantly, how to find leads, how to analyze deals, and how to make offers, more importantly, taking action. And that was the biggest takeaway out of that class. Next, we move forward to the real estate marketing class, of where we re-engineered the equation of understanding if we can figure out what the root problem is as far as why the seller wants to sell this property, we can create win-win situations. And as a real estate investor, our number one goal is to create solutions and be a problem solver. Okay? And so utilizing the marketing, instead of looking for deals, we're looking for problems. Furthermore, we learned different mediums that we can leverage to get our message out there utilizing marketing. We also learned different techniques or different messages that we can get out there as well to let people know what services that we offer and how we can help them within their real estate challenges. All right, so week 5, week 6 are complete. Now we're bringing up another instructor by the name of Eric Counts out of Arkansas. Eric Counts is actually the CEO of a top leading credit company, as well as a respected authority in the credit industry. Now let's get into some of the learning objectives here. One of the first learning objectives that we covered was understanding your credit report. That printout that you get that helps you understand the status or the updates of each of all of your accounts. Actually, that's more of a fluid document. Okay, so that we used to call it a snapshot, that date, that time, that moment. But later on, I'm going to talk about some concepts that actually makes that statement now untrue based on some of the newer concepts that have just rolled out in credit. Okay, so we'll get into that in just a second. We also went over understanding your credit score, understanding how it's made up of. There's 5 different components that make up your credit score, and understanding each of those are crucial to managing your credit. We also went over different scoring models. So there's different rubrics in a sense that you can utilize to score credit. So we went over FICO 8, FICO 9, we went over Vantage Score, we went over a variety of different other scoring models that are out there, the Beacon Score, right? So there's a variety of different ways that you can compile a credit score. More importantly, understanding what is the lender that you're particularly applying for looking at. We also went over understanding the 5 key factors, okay? And these are going to be crucial for your success of managing your credit score. Now, if I had to summarize what credit management class was all about, I would have to say it's all about managing your financial reputation, okay? Your financial reputation helps people understand your credit or your credibility, your financial credibility of being able to repay. And so we went over a lot of detail as far as helping you understand that, the views of from your point of view, the views from the lenders, and also understanding how it all works for your favor or sometimes against you. And so my game plan for actually studying for this class was number 1, looking at the learning objectives. That helps me understand the framework of where we're going in that class. Number 2 is actually reviewing the PowerPoint slides and handouts before actually taking the class. That way I have a general idea of what's happening. And so as I'm going through the class, as he's speaking, and I hear something that isn't included in my notes, I'm able to go into the margins and start taking notes and start taking action. Okay, study group mastermind takeaways. Now, as you know, this is my favorite time of the week because this is when I get together with all of the real estate investors in our local investor community, and we get together to discuss the class and helping each other take action, making sure that we're clear on the information, and also sharing resources. And so the last couple weeks in study groups going over the credit management class, one of the things that we actually focused in on was the imaginary balance that you have in credit. Okay, so if I have a $10,000 credit card, my imaginary limit actually stops at $3,000. And so I erased the idea that I have a $10,000 balance, and in my mind, I replace it with $3,000 because the limit as far as that you want to utilize that credit is actually up to 30%. And so if I have $10,000 available, my max imaginary balance that I'm going to give myself is a max of $3,000. A comfortable range that Eric recommended for us to stay within was about 5 to 10%. Okay, so giving back to that $10,000 card, out of that $10,000, I really want to be able to keep it down to about $500 to $1,000 that I'm using, but at most $3,000. And so that's my imaginary balance. The second thing that we talked about is utilizing your credit as an asset. We had some experienced individuals in our group that utilized credit to the fullest. In fact, they actually added on, we had an individual in our group added on his 1-year-old son to a credit card already. And so he's already had an established credit history that he can lean on from his dad. His dad utilizes credit cards to do entire renovations on. And so we're seeing the power of leveraging credit or leveraging other people's money at a huge rate in our group because we're now understanding how to access it. Another thing that we talked about is actually using it within a real estate transaction. And so a lot of times you may not have the actual money for a deal, but you actually have the credit score to be able to qualify for financing to purchase the deal or to renovate the deal. So now you're coming from a different perspective. You're a credit partner on the transaction to where you can utilize your credit and being able to secure the finances to complete the deal. Okay, so we're moving right into the Epiphany Symphony. Now these are my aha moments that I had over the 8 hours taking this class that really stuck out to me. And so I wanted to talk about trending payment data and then also understanding partial data matching. So with trended payment data, this is showing you how you're utilizing your credit over the last 24 months. Okay, so remember I talked about earlier that credit wasn't more of a snapshot? Well, that debunks that entire idea. With the new scoring model that just came out, it now includes trended data payments. And so it tracks your balances over the last 24 months. And so it looks to see if you're more of a transaction user where you're using it and paying it off every month, or if you're carrying a balance every month. And that plays a huge factor for us as real estate investors who are looking to utilize our credit for real estate projects that may take 4, 6, 8 months at times, right? And so these are some of the conversations that we included in our study group. Now, I also want to talk about partial data matching. Eric had the opportunity to actually show us the hierarchy of what credit bureaus look at when they're utilizing information that they're collecting to compile our credit information. And so some bureaus look at the last name, they may look at the zip code, right? They may look at the first initial. And if you have someone that is living in your house with the same last name, living in the same zip code as you with the same first initial, there very well may be a crossover with information that you may see on your credit report or on theirs. And so in the study group we talked about, we actually had an individual that was a twin, and she saw a lot of different accounts and information on her report that had nothing to do with her, and she identified it that it was actually her sister's. Okay, we had another individual in the group that actually was he was a third, and his father was a junior. And so they had a lot of crossover for information as well growing up. A lot of accounts on his report weren't actually his. And so we were actually able to identify some of the issues on our report after having to complete this class. Okay, and we're moving right into the last segment for this video, and that it's a wrap. This is my wealth real estate action plan. And so now that I've taken the class, now that I've participated in the study groups, had a chance to connect with some of the other investors in my local area, how am I going to apply this information? What kind of action am I going to take now that I know better? How am I going to do better? And so through this class, one of the things that I identified was how to increase your credit limit, right? I'm stuck with that $10,000 credit limit with only $3,000 to actually utilize, I want to figure out how I can gain access to more credit. And so Eric recommended a good time frequency to increase your credit was every 6 months or so. You want to take a look at some different areas of where you can start increasing your credit limits. Also, after reviewing my entire credit report, identifying some of the things that stuck out in the class, I actually found 5 different things that were incorrect on my credit report that could possibly be pulling my score down. Now, my credit is actually in pretty good shape, and after going through it, I realized that I had an account on there that was not mine, right? I had an account that actually appeared closed. And then I also had some wrong information as far as addresses and things of that nature appeared on there as well. And so a part of my action plan was taking steps to get that information removed. That way I can enhance my credit score overall. And so thank you for joining me. I appreciate you checking in and tuning into the videos that we are sharing throughout our Fall Essential Study Group. If you haven't already, please like, share, follow, comment, subscribe, whatever you need to do to stay plugged in. And we're going to see you on the next video. Take care.